nice guy. Very excited to have him up here. Please welcome Nick Shimon.
Yo, what up? Everybody here hates Michigan, right? Yeah. Ohio hates Michigan. Cleveland hates Michigan. Actually, Cleveland hates Michigan so much, our feel-good phrase is, at least we're not Detroit. I told that joke in a Costco once. They didn't like it. To be fair, it was in Grand Rapids, Michigan. That was my fuck up, but come on, 170 people in the main aisle of Costco stopped walking. This is cutthroat traffic. They all stopped and looked at me, and the first lady walked up, 5'3", 280, jersey to her ankles. She goes, "That ain't funny, bud. We live here." Holy shit, what kind of accent is that? I was expecting white trash. Topic change. So I had this funny idea for a scary movie. It's about a guy that travels and does sales, but he's so lonely that every time anybody asks him to hang out, he has to say yes and do it. Now, there's only two important things you have to know about this guy. One, he is approached by a 50-year-old man in the Costco and offered a free massage. I feel like we all have the same idea here. What would you guys say? Probably fuck no. Alright, well, the other thing you need to know is I said yes, and I'm that guy. Welcome to my trauma dump. So, the worst part, or the second worst part, was the fact that on my way out, my Uber declined me because my account got frozen. So some random dude who offered me a massage in Costco, I had to ask him to drive me back to my hotel. If you're a woman in here, I'm sorry you had to hear that someone else did this. Let me remember the rest of the joke. Give me a second. Honestly though, I didn't realize how fucking bad that situation was until I watched Dahmer. I didn't realize how close I was to actually being eaten by a serial killer. I was already oiled up and tenderized. Like, there were 3 obvious red flags when I went there that I probably shouldn't go the fuck in this house. 1, I don't know this guy. 2, he had a waterfall and 2 purebred dogs in the backyard. 3, my Uber driver asked me, "Do you feel safe here? Are you sure? Do you want me to make sure you get in there and get out okay?" I said, "At least make sure I get in." Didn't go very well. Now, the only true threat to my safety are my friends. I let my friends talk me last year into a trip to Utah and Colorado. So in Utah, it was beautiful, I discovered. I'm still fucking terrified of heights. So we started at a cliff and climbed up to 7,000 feet. And of course, these idiots, the first thing they do, they convince me, first of all, don't pack any clothes. Don't pack any clothes. You don't have to pay for a suitcase. You don't have to ship shit there. You don't have to take anything on a plane. We'll hit a thrift shop. We'll hike for 7 straight days with no showers, throw all that shit away, and then come back. When I got there, I was like, "Hey, Alex, what do you have in your backpack?" He was like, "Oh, well, these are my clothes." I'm like, "Give me one good reason not to kill you in the Colorado National Airport, you motherfucker. You talked me into packing nothing." We went to a Walmart, not a thrift shop, so all I could afford was 3 white t-shirts for 7 days of hiking. So we go to Utah, to the National Arches, or the Utah Arches National Park, and I follow these dudes because I had no other choice. I didn't know my way out. They tricked me into climbing up to 7,000 feet. I find myself at the highest ridge in the Utah National Park. We had to go off trail to find it. I should mention that my other 2 fears other than heights are being lost and being trapped. We watched the sunset up there, which means it's dark on the way back and my fucking friends don't have a goddamn clue how to get back. So now I'm trapped with my 3 friends. I have to put my life in their hands. We have a festival book. We have my buddy Alex, who hasn't responded to his actual name in more than 2 hours. It's Utah. He's a skinwalker. We're convinced he's been replaced at some point, and we don't know when. And my buddy who works in mountain rescue. It's important to mention that he's the one that always gets us lost. Never once has he said, I know the way back, and actually fucking got us there. When we were lost on the way back, we were lost, by the way, it took us 2.5 hours to get out of the park. He told me, don't ask those people in the distance for help. Mountain rescue costs too much. Fucking asshole. We finally get out, there's 3 people behind us, and 2 of them are Mormons, and the third one is some dude they found in the woods. They're like, hey, you guys should talk to this guy, he's pretty cool. My buddy Dane is like, yeah, dude, come hang out with us. What do you do for a living? He's like, I'm a traveling butcher. Any concerns yet? My buddy goes, hey, you want to come with us to the remote mountains of Colorado? You can follow us there and we can camp for 3 days in the middle of nowhere. That sounds like a traveling butcher's wet fucking dream. So we drive 6.5 hours. It turns out he was really good at following us. We didn't even lose him. This trip ended up being such a mess when we got there. 6.5 hour drive to start a 4.5 hour hike at 10,000 feet straight up. I just got over COVID and tested negative 4 days before I got on the plane, so I couldn't breathe for shit already. And we get there, 1 minute in, we realize I post-COVID lung. 2 minutes in, I realize I'm carrying twice the weight I could probably carry from groceries from the car to my apartment, let alone 4.5 hours straight up. And 5 minutes in, my buddy pops the bear mace. You ever heard someone scream when they get bear maced in the eyes? You just hear, oh fuck! He turns around screaming. He pepper sprayed himself in the eyes with bear mace. In his eyes, in his mouth, and all over his back. They said he screamed for 25 minutes before we could talk to him. And his idea of remedy, since we hadn't had a shower in 4 days, was to lay down in the creek. Sub-freezing, only 2 inches deep. I was gonna make a penis joke, let's not. Anyway, so he gets up, he's like, I finally feel better, we start hiking again, and not even a minute later he goes, it's dripping down my back. Guys, it's in my ass crack. I got hot nuts! Ah! We didn't get a shower till the next day, and it was a sub-freezing lake at 12,000 feet, but that poor dude, it never went right for him. All right, y'all, thank you very much for your time.